OpTic was down 1-2 here. We got a terminal hardpoint. I think there was a lot of good and bad takeaways for both teams on this map. But OpTic spawning on this side, you can debate which side you think is better. I think this side's better simply because you have the spawns for Dreams, which is the P2 spawn, which I think is a huge money hill. In my opinion, P2 to P3 is kind of a money rotation, more so P2. And then I think P4 to P5 is probably the biggest money hill rotation. I think you can get a good chunk of time, like 100 to 120 on P4 to P5. But OpTic playing well here, right? They're winning the trades. New York is spawning escalators, eskies. Pretty clear cut, nothing much to talk about. Number 2 here, look at Shotzi, right? He's playing that pinch. His only goal here is to make sure that New York cannot get through the Dreams area, cannot get through Terminal, and flip these spawns early. So OpTic has New York spawning exactly where we want them. Right, these guys are forced to either push up Esky and push through Burger, which you're going to see New York, that's their goal, right? Like, usually on your first or even sometimes second break, you want to secure the spawn, and the best way to do that is to push through Burger. Shotzi's pushed out, he has all of plane, he's giving his team info, so all of our players know they're forced to either flood through hallway or pinch around Burger. Kenny's going to secure a cruise missile here. And overall, just an incredible start from the boys. Just as good as it gets. I love the way Kenny plays this right. Not too overzealous. Even though he's streaking, he's on a 6. He's going to get that 7th kill, play his life, and play it slow. Now, New York, they're not going to start punching around Burger, right? With 30 seconds left, they're going to start thinking about playing. So, in my opinion here, especially after having P2 rotation, OpTic wants to break and hold the plane from the front. It's not one of those things that you want to go pinch around Esky and clip the spawn. Ultimately, your goal here, even if you lose a full 60 here, your goal is to hold that Burger side spawn, secure a full 60 on Burger, which will then translate into that P5 library hold, where you're going to want back security spawns for both of those hills. So, this is fine, right? OpTic, they secure most of the P2 time, all the P2 time. They're forced to fight through front. And notice how early on we're going to start thinking about Burger, right? Look at number 3 in your mini-map, that's Pred. 45 seconds left. OpTic gets all of the kills. New York's going to fight back plane. They're going to spawn terminal side. Look at us. Here we should start thinking about Burger. Especially when New York gets these kills, right? Like number 3 and 2, they're going to back up. 30 seconds left. We're no longer going to hit plane. If anybody hits plane, it's number 1. Number 1 can go take this one-on-one for scrap. Because if you think about it, number 1 knows for the most part he has a one-on-one. With 30 seconds left, he knows with how important Burger Hill is. New York's going to be sending all of their players towards Dreams to try and secure this spot, to try and secure this part of the map, right? Like, he knows he has this one-on-one. New York's going to try pushing through here. Maybe one will cut mid-hall and try getting a cut through Library, and the rest are going to hit through Dreams because their goal is to get kills here, thus spawning OpTic out Esky's side so they can sort of try to break this hill and secure these back spawns.
They did the same thing. I was hyping them up. Unbelievable.
New York gets kills, but it doesn't matter. Like, look at the spawn. We're spawning Dreams. This is perfect.
There we go.
And now, the only way to really throw this is if Dashy or whoever's in Burger scams out of hill. I'm pretty sure Brandon, I'm not sure if it's this one or the next one, does die out of Burger at some point. I don't remember if it's the first or second. But this is exactly what you want. Look at it. It's very, very simple. We're going to keep spawning back here. One guy time. This is where Brandon kind of trolls and dies out of hill. He got a little overzealous. Headshot multiplier to bed. But nonetheless, this is a pretty standard setup. One person in time who can help this guy fighting front, one person library, and then one person either watching this cross or actually pushed out Dreams. I like this. I think it gets a little sketchy when you let players actually push here and fight this way. So I like Kenny playing this. I think it's a heads-up play.
Pushing up through Eskies, you lose both players. I mean, basically for free. Kenny gets one. Now you still have to get across.
Yeah, New York, they shouldn't be able to cross that easily, but nonetheless, this is great. Like, white time for them is a win. Like, at the very least, they get the kills. Unfortunately for us, New York gets a bunch of kills on the cross, and New York's ultimately going to end up getting into some of this time, I think. But even white time here, in my opinion, is a loss for OpTic. Nonetheless, Kismet crosses, they get some of this time. That should have been, most of the time, a full 60 for OpTic. Big kill on the Hydra, though, because at the very least, you need to mitigate the damage, and you need to hold these back spawns. Because you want to hold you have to think of the map sort of long term, right? You want to hold this back spawn because you want to hold backside library and you want to cut all these lanes, which you have head glitches to watch these lanes. Then by holding these spawns, you're going to have P1 control. You're going to have this spawn, which will then ultimately lead to P2. So
what you get
I agree, Gopher. If you start this map on security side, you can win it if you never lose the spawns. Correct. There is no hill on this map, in my opinion, where you want the escalator spawn, where you want that side of the map. You always want top side of the map spawns. But good hold off break. I think we actually end up trolling some of this time, and let me explain what I think our mistake here is, right? This guy, actually, to be fair, number 2 playing this off angle I actually like a lot, so. I actually have nothing, there's nothing wrong with this right now, in my opinion.
It's position. So even top Methodz, when you start to rotate,
I didn't realize this guy's playing the off angle. This is fine.
This crossfire is insane for OpTic because Kenny's looking over shots.
Kenny does get traded, so here's where I have the problem with it. The issue here is now Dashy's alone in time. I think the ideal setup is everybody playing this backside, right? So Dashy would be in time. Let's say number 2, Shotzzy, would be backside time with him, and he's sort of the flex player. So think of it like this. Number 3, his job, hold all of Burger, let no one through. Number 1, his job is hold all of this right side, let no one pinch around. Number 4 is obviously focusing and playing contest and playing his front push, while this flex player can do anything. He can help Burger if it's needed, he can help Hill if it's needed, and he can rotate right to help right if needed. That's why I think it's a little sketchy having someone up here, but at the same time, if Amp plays this off angle and only watches this, he's probably good for at least one.
The main hallway. Does he take it down? Here comes the push for New York. Nice shots from Sip. Yeah, and that's just sort of.
So I do think if we had that setup, which I think we end up doing the setup towards the end of the game, that's optimal. That's when you're pretty. It's almost guaranteed you're going to hold the hill at that point.
Regain control with 20 seconds to go, and kind of all over the map right now. If you were subliners, you got one top left. All the way towards where you have one set up in the plane, one spawning Heskies. Next hard point's gonna pop, and I'm just looking where Sib is right now. He's kind of on an island.
Yeah, huge kills there. I mean, ginormous kills. If New York stays alive in the back, they win that wave and they flip us Heskies. We're in serious trouble for both P1 and P2.
And if you can't do it, you try to get as much time as possible here at P1. I swear, some people's Renee's hit a little bit better. But
you can wallbang this. I didn't really know that until today, so this isn't as overpowered as I thought it once was. But I can repeat myself if you guys want. Look, perfect situation. New York spawning on the bottom side of the map. Our only goal here, especially for P2, is making sure number 5 cannot get through the right. This is the most important part of the map. I know this may be a little confusing if maybe you're new to the game, but this P1 time, sure, it's great, you want these 30 seconds, but you want this full 60 here, and the only way it gets sketchy is if New York actually breaks through and gets this dream spawn.
Shotzzy now looking for the angle. That just something hit him in the forehead. I'm trying to watch the pitch. It looks like Hydra's trying to make a move.
Totally fine, free death, right? Dashy's allowed to overchow there because look where he's going to spawn.
With Kenny just being very patient. There is the pop-up.
Kenny gets a big kill dream side, the other guy dream side, and now look, New York, all that progress they had pushing up the map, which it's not their fault, they made the best plays they could. They die, they spawn in Narnia. They're forced to spawn and push all the way through the back, and now any good team, for the most part, they're going to do this. They're going to spawn up Eskies, they're going to send at least 2 or 3 Burger, 1 or 2 Library, and then probably 1 pinching around right. So I think best case scenario for New York, they send 2 this way, they force a kill back here. That way, so if I'm New York, what I would do is this. I would send 2 Burger, 1 slow play Library, wait for these guys to be the aggressor, wait for them to get info, and then you can sort of play this left corner and peek and help them or get an angle back here. And 1 person hides back here and doesn't fight at all. Because ultimately, in a perfect world, they get a pick from Burger, right? So let's say they kill Shotzzy back here. Then this guy at some point is forced to turn and help, and then you can take the one-on-one on time and start pinching front. But right now, hitting front is useless when OpTic has a full setup. Because, I mean, you know it's being watched. The only way to get through this front area is if your teammates create that diversion and find kills from Burger and Library.
From him, and now maybe a chance you have a 3-on-2 around the hill. You see.
Hold on, I just looked away for a second. So yeah, look what happens, right? They chow from Burger and Library, and now they push through. Number 1 is forced to pick up the
Give a little
back,
shake and bake.
and they're just beat.
Yeah, I mean, nice movement from him, and now maybe a chance. You have a 3-on-2 around the hill. You see where
So,
OpTic spawned. It's all down
a
to
big
play.
blunder there. This should have been a full hold. I want to rerun this one more time because this in my opinion is a little unacceptable. Like, this is not something we should lose. Like, we have the perfect scenario. Number 2 and 4, they need to play their lives better. Very simple. Like, Hydra gets first blood. Kind of unfortunate. I mean, Brandon wasn't even looking there. Hydra gets an angle. And ends up getting traded out. And now, there's nothing number 1 can do. I mean, his job was watching this. So I do think our players needed to play the back here and play their lives. That way number 1 can come help. I tried to follow your girlfriend, but she was private. Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend doesn't know you. I do think that's a little... Whatever. Let's not put that in the YouTube video, Tiff. Jesus Christ, man.
Give a little shake and bake.
This kid's, yeah, I mean, nice movement from him. Now maybe a chance. You have a
Oh, that's nuts. Okay. Yeah, I think a big blunder there. And here's where it gets sketchy. Here's my biggest worry here. Because now New York is in prime position to essentially win the map just by holding this top side of the map. They get this 40 seconds P2 scrap. OpTic is spawning Eskies. At the very worst, even if OpTic full 60s plane, New York has the rotation.
Yeah, I mean, considering what
To
you invest in
Burger.
the disciplines you said for Texas to kind of hold, be ready for the next point, and you get the break on through. There's been a couple of big breaks. OpTics, unfortunately, when you get it at the plane hill, gets broken again right after it. This one, what can subliners turn into time-wise? And it looks like this is going to be, what, 40 or so seconds they're going to get? You're talking like 80
So
seconds
yeah, I
swing.
mean, I feel like I've been repeating myself a lot. I apologize if I'm sounding like a broken record, but I'm going to try to emphasize how important these topside spawns are.
I'm easily in the way by a margin right now.
So now OpTic, I mean, they have a good potential setup to hold this full 60 on plane, right? Let's do the math. They get to 190, that's fine. The issue is New York can easily, or semi-easily, I don't want to say it's that easily, chain Burger and Library to win the map here.
Hydra thought he was maybe sneaking up the ramp.
So, in my opinion, the goal here, number 2, Shotzi, get through left as soon as you possibly can, right? Trust your teammates to 3v3 or 3v4 time. Especially when you make these 2 kills, your goal is to get to over here and start trying to secure some of these top spawns. And that's what he does. Or at least he's showing some presence on that side of the map. He's probably going to get sniffed out here by 5 and 6. But
he tried to.
I do like how at least got the top side of the map. I do think a troll from number 8 here. I think Caesar pushing this part of the map is the reason number 4 spawns Burger. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming Caesar being here is influencing this bottom spawn. So now he's spawning OpTic up top. If Caesar stays like here or here, number 4 wouldn't spawn Burger, and OpTic's still in a lot of trouble, despite holding this time. And now we start spawning Burger.
There's the timing. There's the trades. A team from
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of
ramp. Troy
sneaking up the ramp.
Let me see.
Sometimes it's the best way, honestly. If you're playing Search and Destroy.
So yeah, number 5 still spawning here. Number 8 is here. New York's gonna wrap all the way right side Dreams. I don't think number 7's influencing the spawn.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it's about.
He kills Dashy there.
It's just catching a timing.
I need to see what's going on. I don't know. I think it might be number 8. I feel like if Caesar was around here, they would have held these top side spawns. It might be both as well. It might be this and this. I don't know well enough yet, but I will at some point. But nonetheless, New York at some point applied a little too much pressure on the wrong side of the map, either here or both, thus essentially blessing OpTic and giving them this Burger spawn. Because if that didn't happen and OpTic was still spawning here and New York was spawning topside, a lot of trouble. Shout out Gopher. And now it gets pretty self-explanatory. The Burger rotation is one of the most overpowered rotations in the game.
20 to 40 seconds in spots.
OpTic's only goal now is to post up and find kills. Do not die. Do not spawn out. If they do die here, they might spawn out Esky. So, for example, let's say Hydra makes this kill right here. Or he died Esky, but nonetheless, let's say Hydra was like mid-haul, and then OpTic, one of these players die. There's a solid chance that one of these OpTic players would spawn out Esky, which, because the way back security and Burger is set up, maybe might not be the end of the world, right? They might be able to like mitigate damage and hold him off and sort of stall gunfights to let this guy get back into play. Maybe even, honestly, with this much time, it actually wouldn't be that bad because I'm sure this guy would spawn up and run right through hallway and be able to get a pinch and shoot these guys in the back. But just trying to give you guys the basics, like, you do not want to die this close to the hill popping. If you die right now, it's fine because you can hold your spawn and probably spawn back here. But if you die like 6 to 8 seconds until the new hill pops, very, very bad. Huge kills here. At this point, the most important thing is playing your life and getting the kills. This gets sketchy, but still winning some fights. This gets sketchy especially if Shotzi doesn't find that 2-piece because these guys are spawning on a pinch. So that's really dangerous. If Skies and Sib, they played their life here and they're just annoying and New York spawns out here, they would have broke, they would have had a free pinch. So it gets sketchy, but it's all right nonetheless. Based on the locations here, I think OpTic should spawn back here.
We'll see if the crews.
Okay, no, I was wrong. Sorry. I'm not sure if that's even a spawn point on this hill, but they spawn out terminal. Makes sense. Eskies is blocked. They can't spawn back Dreams over here. And keep in mind, I'm trying to analyze the best I can. Once I actually have a lot more playtime and I'm watching a little more, I'll have a little more knowledge. So I don't know every single spawn, but
clean shots at first, but Shotzi's able to take that fight ultimately. 20 seconds now between the two teams, and just
now
20 left.
Play your life in time. Freddy gets a big pinch. New York, they can't do anything. Kismet's weak front. This is full time, and now once again, notice the setup they're gonna get it. I talked about it earlier on in the video.
Well, you're gonna see another lead change here. New York gonna have to have a
You want to have one person holding right. That number one player, that's Ken. Ken's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's the second line of defense near the time, right? He can help anything. Notice this. Rotating Library. Anson Library, his focus is playing his life, fighting front. Number 4 is watching the Burger push through. Number 3, his only job is to make sure they can't push through right. Number 1 is the flex player here. Kenny is in a spot where he can help anybody. If Shotzi dies or needs help in hill, he's there. If number 3 needs help, he's cutting this corner and helping him right. If number 4 needs help, all he's doing is telling this guy to stay down, or he's pushing back here and holding this push through. So Kenny does a great job here being that sort of flex player, that fourth, second line of defense, if you will. And same thing, we're double time, right? Because the main push, at least with this much time left, they probably think there's one guy in time. We're not going to get through Burger too hard. We're not going to get through right too hard. A lot of teams do think bait and switching this mid vending machine and challenging front is the right play. So they try, but unfortunately for them, we have 2 players in time.
Yeah, maybe it's just like you've been breaking all map. Maybe you're just thinking you've got another break in you.
Yeah, Cruz is gone, finds nothing. Kenny and Fred find the kills.
And they don't have time. Look, Shotzi's getting kills. Burger. They know they're not winning this fight on this right desk. They're forced to chow mid at double time. GG. Gets a little sketchy. I do think one of those Burger spawns helped us out a lot because I think New York overextended a bit, but a good map, especially from Ken. 30 and 17. I mean, he's just finding a lot of kills. So that was map 4 of the New York OpTic series. So yeah, I mean, Kenny leading the lobby in damage, beautiful, almost 5,000, 30 and 17. Dashy, 3 minutes in hill. I mean, his job, objective work all game long. Hydra has an uncharacteristic slow map, which I don't care if you're the best player in the world, which there's an argument that he is because he was the best player in the world last year. You're going to have tough maps. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching me review some of those hardpoint maps. Make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And please let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it and want to see more. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.